Hey, this is Johnny Mendez with Buck & Associates, and I'm here with Caitlin Linane of the Linane team, and we're going to talk about how your first home could make you a millionaire.
Absolutely. So a big misconception is that to start investing in real estate, you have to have 20% down, you have to be an intentional investor. Really, what ultimately has to happen is you just have to get started young, and you have to make the right financial decisions, and a big one is buying a home.
Absolutely. So we're not going to go into detail, absolutely, but we can get started. I mean, you can get started with like a standard FHA loan, right? Like 3% down.
Absolutely. So a big thing that is not talked about is that when you buy a home and it is your primary residence, which means you're actually going to live there, most people do not live in their primary residence for the rest of their lives, right? Because your lifestyle changes, your income changes, right? So people our age that are maybe using, let's say, an FHA loan or even a first-time homebuyer grant, right? They're putting no money down. You could live there for 3 years, and then when your income is increased, maybe you got that promotion at work, then you don't have to refinance. You could just take that home and put it up for rent.
Absolutely.
You could even use that rental income to help you qualify to buy a bigger home.
That's right, if it covers the mortgage, right?
Yeah, so we get to count 75% of your rent that you make on that property toward qualifying as income for your new home.
So just so I have this clear, so if I move into a property, right, first time home buyer, let's say I get an FHA loan or something along those lines, put down 3.5%. What is that, like 10 grand on $300,000?
Yep.
So you're saying with the $10,000 investment, if I live there for a couple years, I can just move out and rent it out and basically have somebody pay for the property for me?
Yes, exactly. And as long as it's a good investment, which is what matters the most. So what we would be looking for you and looking out for you is he would be looking for good investments that have low HOA dues or low costs for homeowners associations, so that you have good net rental income, right? So even if you're not renting it the day that you buy it, even if you're going to live there for a couple of years, it's good to know that if you do decide to move on a whim, or you get an amazing job opportunity, or your family life changes, maybe you have a baby, something exciting, that you would be able to move and count that property as income, right? Like start renting it out immediately, and you would know roughly what that is, right? You could give them a number for what their net rent could be.
Absolutely, yeah. We could, before you even buy the property, we could figure out what it's currently renting for.
Exactly.
Again, if you're doing like a first-time home buyer program, you can't immediately rent it out because
you do have to occupy the home. So you don't want to be deceptive with that. That could be mortgage fraud, which is a federal crime. We don't want to do that. But in all honesty, most people buy a townhome. They start there because this area is so expensive, and then they can keep it for the rest of their lives and make residual income off that, and have your renter pay it off for you.
Absolutely, it's like a free house. So yeah, I mean, people do this all across the area. It's nothing new. People have been doing it for years. So basically what Caitlin's saying, get started young, get into a property.
Get started now. Give us a call. Honestly, the two of us are happy to put together some numbers for you. He'll run the rent analysis. We'll let you know how much it actually costs to buy this home, and that's one step to becoming a millionaire.
One thing I do want to ask you, Caitlin, too, as far as like financing, if I want to fix up the house, let's say I'm a first-time home buyer, I go into it with this intention, I'm going to live in it for a couple years, rent it out so somebody else pays for it, but I want to get some equity, right? I want to gain some equity, so I buy a property that needs a little bit of work. Do you guys offer any sort of like financing to help me get some work done on the property?
Yes.
Do I need to have the cash up front?
You don't have to have the cash up front. So you could do a conventional 3% down loan. So even less than FHA, you could put 3% down and build in the renovation costs into your loan. So we could do that for you too. And then what you would do is you would know exactly how much those upgrades were going to benefit you in equity. So obviously, and it's really important that you have a good realtor that tells you how much those upgrades are going to be in that specific neighborhood, because different styles and different ranges of home have different levels of value based on where they're placed.
Even across the street, prices can vary, so that's my job.
I know. Let us know if you want to see more on that, because we're happy to
100%. We could go into this for like an hour and a half, but basically the point of this video is just to let you know that, buying your first home is really the first step into amassing a portfolio that will hopefully make you a millionaire and pay your bills. I mean, like I said, if you can get into that first house with $10,000 down and then move out a few years later and just have somebody else pay for it, 30 years later, why wouldn't you do it? I mean, you're getting a house for free, basically. I mean, so
exactly.
And we didn't even go into like the tax benefits or anything. We're not CPAs or anything, but we didn't even go into the tax benefits or anything like that. So
I know you'll have to give us a call, and we will talk you through all of it. But that is the first step in becoming financially wealthy: is having some equity in real estate.
100%. So yeah, thanks for watching. And if you have any questions about anything we talked about today, I'm sure you do. I mean, we just brushed over it. Feel free to give Caitlin or I a call anytime.
Yeah. Talk to you soon.
All right.